This is a 1970 Nissan Skyline Hakosuka, the first generation to wear the almighty GTR badge. But I'm gonna let you all down right now because this one behind me is not a real GTR. Is the owner, though, the same as your friend who you're quietly distancing yourself from because he stuck a GTR badge on his GTST? I'm hoping there's more to it than that. This one behind me makes way more power than the original car ever did from an inline six that's also carbureted and naturally aspirated, the best of the 70s. Let's go for a drive. Seating position. Okay, the steering wheel is incredibly far away, but everything else is very close and accessible, including the pedals. Heavy clutch. There we go. First gear shift in a Hako went smoothly. Delicate. Old cars are always very methodical, so I'm glad that this is not the first 1970s car I've driven. It's a notchy shifter, but very easy to get into gear. Some of these controls, though, I feel like I could just very easily snap off. So, of course, power is not everything. The main difference between a Hako GTR, a real one, which are very rare, incredibly rare to find, is the fact that that engine, the 2-liter S20 inline six, had a twin cam head, whereas all the other Skylines of this same generation were single cam. And that engine was derived from racing. It was effectively a homologation engine, and then of course, you guys know, Nissan went on to win so many races. Ooh, heavy steering. No power steering, obviously. No heat in this car either, no AC. It's got wind-up windows. Some Hakosukas came with power windows, which is pretty insane for the time. So there was a large variation in trim. So this car originally started life as a 2000 GT, so about 160 horsepower in the GTR. This originally about 105 horsepower. Under the hood is an L28, a modern L28 engine. This one's been bored to 3 liters though. So the L28, a 2.8 liter inline six that Nissan stuffed in a bunch of cars for a long period of time. But the fact is, here in North America, in cars like the 280Z, later the 280ZX, they were all fuel injected, Bosch fuel injected, right? So for the owner of this one, that was no problem. A JDM engine with carbs was swapped in before it got here. And then he updated the carbs to make more power, smoother power band, and to push the power band closer to the top, and to get it just to rev higher. The sound! There's so much depth to the sound of this engine. I've driven an L28. It did not sound like this. Oh, that's some power. Oh, that is beautiful. The engine sounds so big, way bigger than 3 liters would suggest. He tells me it should rev to 7,500. I am not going to go there today. He's told me he hit 7 and then he just kind of gives up. And then he's like, he doesn't give up, he feels the engine. And the engine to him is telling him, hey, that's enough. It's screaming, it's giving him all the power. And it doesn't feel like it's still gonna climb, but so focused. Oh yeah, there we go. Is it a car I want to take on the track? No. I don't feel like this is a car that wants to have me wring its neck out, but it is a car that wants to be driven quickly. Even though you get a little bit upset when you hit a bump mid-corner, it wants to go. It wants to be revved. It wants to be revved, and all I'm hearing is intake. It's all just intake noise, and then the exhaust kind of crackles a little bit. A lightly tuned RB26 would easily overpower these brakes and this 50-year-old sheet metal, but here we're living right on the edge. I'd bet it's making close to 300 horsepower, but what's important is that power just flows in as the revs build. And you wonder why Nismo recently just came out with a twin cam setup for these inline sixes. Turns out some days are actually better without boost.
That wasn't even 7K.
This thing sounds amazing. It's so smooth. Yeah, you do definitely need the fifth gear, right?
Yeah.
100%. You would have been out of gearing.
Yeah. Especially on the freeway.
I can see why you don't have conversations with your passengers. Do you feel unsafe driving this on California roads?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I would say maybe like more than half the worry are other cars hitting me, because there's no way I'm gonna find replacement parts for this guy. And I mean, once you get to like 80, 90 miles per hour just mobbing on the highway, then it's like two hands on the wheel. Yeah. Hi, my name is Jan Lim, and I'm driving this 1971 Nissan Skyline, AKA Hakosuka. I did not put the GTR badge. The car came from Japan with the badge. It's a GTR Tribute. I've had the car for 3 years. I imported it from Sydney, Australia, from the previous owner who took care of it for 15 years. He imported it from Japan to Sydney. The condition that I got it in was close to this. I've done a couple upgrades. I did coilovers for the front. I paint corrected it, ceramiced it. I'm running Willwood micro big brake kit on the front, and also same thing for the back. They were drums when I got it, but the rear diff is from a Subaru. Okay. And then into the axles are still Nissan. The seats came with red insert, so I wanted it to be more period correct and changed it back to the basket weave. Another thing that I'm really proud of are the Mikunis, the set of Mikuni 44s. It came with Weber 40s. Felt like the car could take more power and it just needed more airflow. So now they're upgraded to Mikuni 44s and tuned by Taka at Kyusha House. First time driving it, the carbs were junked up. So I literally turned it on, took it around the street, and barely got it around the block, and then it died. I haven't ripped the motor off and out since I got it. So the previous owner, Kevin, in Australia, he worked on it and got it running because it was a ditch project from Japan. He did fix a lot of the electrical issues, and then now I'm here just maintaining it. Bored out to a 3.0, racing cams, built bottom end. There were Taka's personal set carburetors that he restored for me, and then also the custom intake stacks too are a signature Taka with T3.
Did you notice a power increase once these carbs were built and tuned and everything?
Oh gosh, totally.
Okay.
I don't want to be biased, but Mikuni's hands down for me. You notice a lot of like the difference in smoothness and transition from the idle jets to the primary jets. From the Webers, it'll have a stumble, not so well on like moderate to heavy acceleration off the bat compared to the Mikunis. Are so smooth. sound better too. Yeah, sound better.
Yeah, when the sound is just a byproduct, I'll take it. Ooh, flicker.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Nice. I would imagine similar things happen with the car.
I've shut the hood once and then the headlights turn back on. It's only happened like 3 or 4 times, but
nice.
Yeah, that's a thing. But, also with the car, these wheels came from Japan as well. These are vintage Watanabes. I believe one's from the late 80s and then one's from the early 90s. And they're 14-inch wheels, which also why I ran the micro big brake kit to clear 14-inch wheels. I know the Speed Hunters sticker was from when it got featured on Speed Hunters in Australia. Yeah. I've debated so many times of ripping that off and like replacing the stickers, but I'm like, okay, I'll keep that sticker. And same with the Prince sticker. I'd like to shuffle it around, but it's part of the history of the car, and I respect the previous owner for, taking care of this too, and, choosing me to be the new owner. So a little bit of that is kind of like a reminder for me to just, be grateful that he chose me to be the owner of this car. This car is my date car with my wife, and also, I guess, the car that I prefer to drive over the weekends and car meets, and just something where it feels loud and raw and like gets me in the mood and puts a smile on my face just starting it, and waking up the neighbors. But yeah. Actually, this is kind of what got me into detailing. Like when I purchased it, I just wanted a weekend car, like a fun car, like my first classic car. And so when this came in, it definitely needed a deep cleaning and just learning how to restore paint, how to polish and ceramic coat. This was probably my second or third car that I worked on. And then from there, I fell in love with the craft of detailing. And now, started V-Spec detailing and care and servicing other enthusiast cars.
Boom, you guys, links are in the description.
Thank you, right here.
Right there, Southern California. You Vancouver people might be out of luck. You got to drive like 2,000 kilometers. But
or fly me out there.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks, Jen, for your time.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Marcus.
Okay, so you guys probably are not going to be able to hear this, but this is incredible. A sign of the times. If you listen closely, that analog clock there, it's making a ticking sound. That's what I got in here, and I'm like, wow, it sounds like I just stepped into a clock store, an antique shop. That's what it does. It actually smells like an antique store in here too. It's angry. It has so much torque. Even down at 3,000 RPM. You need to have the wheel pointed straight. If you're in, let's say, second gear, you can feel the tires just kind of want to get a little bit sideways. Here's something I did not expect. The steering in this car, miles better than both Datsun 510s I've driven recently. It's just the dead spot on center is really non-existent. It's light, but then as soon as you get some weight into it, the entire front end of the car is like, no, this is up to you now. Any screw up you're not gonna be able to blame the car. I would want the steering wheel closer to me, but it's just something you kind of have to wrestle with. You need to get very upright, very proper. Turn signal on, the daintiest controls ever. It's so funny because the gap in feel between the daintiest turn signal and then a steering wheel that is giving you so much resistance in the corners and just weight to it and feel. The car kind of just wants to go where it wants to go. and you have to wrestle with it a little bit. You don't want, it doesn't feel like it wants to get its neck wrung out, like I mentioned, but yeah, it's a bit of a, it's cliche to say, but it's a bit of a dance. I'm getting the smell of uncatalyzed fuel, burnt fuel out of the back, which is awesome. 3 liters. This does not feel at idle like a car that has a 3-liter engine. It feels like a 6.2 or like a Chevy small block. It is a workout to drive though. It doesn't scream up top. It's not so high pitched. It's a muscle car. That I was not expecting, but remarkably consistent. Sometimes with carbureted cars, you have a little bit of inconsistency. You could have a misfire on a random downshift or whatever, but none of that. Jen doesn't daily drive this car, but he could. Turns out these cars are beyond their years, much like the R32 GTR was. It's so refined. I'm glad too, it has a little bit of a weight to the flywheel. It still very much in that sense does not feel like a racy engine, and I'd imagine the S20 and the GTR would have a little bit of a stronger urgency to rev, but it makes it a really nice street car, and the revs just fall at the perfect time to be able to just shift a little bit slower, and it's so happy to do it. Like 60s and 70s cars are generally frightening to drive, even slightly quicker than the speed limit, allegedly. But this is not. There is a confidence here that I was not expecting. So to me, a car like the original GTR is so rare that at this point, there's such a gap between that and an R34 GTR. They made about 11,500 R34 GTRs. They made less than 2,000 of the original Hakosuka GTRs, just over 800 of which were 2-door. So to modify an R34 GTR, in my mind, is not as big of a deal to the purists, in the purist corner of my mind, which is a very small part of it, but it's there, then it would be to modify or engine swap or do anything to an original GTR. A lot of them probably belong in museums. And on top of that, the values. It doesn't feel like to me, and I could be wrong, but if companies like Built by Legends, Garage Yoshida are any indication of this, heavily modifying an R34 GTR in a tasteful way doesn't appear to lower its value in the market. So I would imagine it's a little bit different with an original Hakosuka GTR, as parts are a lot tougher to find. You know, the newer cars, Nissan has their heritage program and stuff like that. There's a bit of a resurgence of reproduction. It's the best. It's so good. Thank you, Jen, for the seat time. Appreciate it. If you guys haven't already, subscribe. That's it. There it is. Hakosuka.